Hey guys, so in this video I wanted to talk about a video that I saw on TikTok yesterday, and it got me thinking because I don't really think that this person was spreading the right information. And so the person that I'm talking about is a deaf woman who does a lot of sign language music videos. And what I mean by that, if you haven't ever seen a sign language music video, they're playing music, but they are doing sign for that, for the music that they're playing. So this woman does a lot of videos like that. She also does more like awareness videos for the deaf community. And before you guys make any comments, I am someone that is partially deaf. And whether or not you know that, if you're asking why I talk so good, it is because for the majority of my life, I could hear normally fine. And my partial deafness is due to the fact that I have built up a lot of scar tissue when I was a child. I had multiple ear surgeries, and you know, that scar tissue eventually caused me to lose my hearing for the most part. In one ear, I can barely hear at all. I do have hearing aids that help me to hear, but I don't always like to wear them because they're uncomfortable in my ears. So that's my explanation of that. But one of her TikTok videos that I was watching yesterday, like, I love to watch her sign language music videos. And I came across this video yesterday where someone asked her, like, they commented on one of her previous videos, and they asked her, you know, if she was deaf and how she could hear the music if she was deaf. And so I wanted to give my thoughts on this because she, like, in her response to that comment, she made a whole video as a response. And she said that it's very rude to ask someone if they're deaf and to assume that they can't hear anything just because they're deaf. And so I wanted to give a little bit of an explanation on that and then also share some of my feelings. So I personally don't feel that it's rude to ask somebody if they're deaf. I have absolutely no problem explaining, like, the fact that just because someone says they're deaf doesn't mean that they can't hear anything. Like, a lot of people, even if you have a partial hearing loss or partial deafness, they just kind of use the blanket term deaf because it's a lot easier than just trying to explain to somebody, you know, like, well, I can hear this much, or I can hear blah, 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 but not this. And, you know, it's kind of difficult, and a lot of people don't want to spend time trying to explain to everybody what they can and can't hear. And so I don't necessarily feel that it's rude to ask somebody if they're deaf. Like I said, I have no problem explaining, but to some people, they may take it the wrong way. And I think that's what this woman did, was take the comment and the questions the wrong way. I would much prefer somebody ask me these questions so that I could explain them. Because I think, you know, I think if you give somebody the opportunity to learn something or understand something from your own perspective as a person who deals with a disability or a medical condition or hearing loss, deafness, whatever the case may be, I think that they are more apt to understand it if it's coming firsthand from someone who is actually dealing with said issue, whatever the case may be. Now, I also wanted to help you guys understand that there are different levels of deafness. And like I said, there is a blanket term for deaf, but certain people who call themselves deaf or refer to themselves as deaf may fall into this whole spectrum of deafness, and they may be able to hear like a vacuum or a motorcycle going past, but they may have a really hard time comprehending what someone's saying, or they may have a hard time hearing someone talking because it's quieter. Like, I think on my hearing test, it said that I could hear an airplane, but I couldn't hear a dog barking, like, at a certain distance. So you know, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what I mean by different levels of deafness, that's what I'm kind of talking about, is that. And so, like, what do you guys think? Do you think it's rude to ask somebody with a disability or a medical condition or someone who is deaf if they are in fact deaf? Like, this lady kind of jumped all over the person who commented and asked those questions, because she was like, well, that's so rude. You shouldn't ask people if they're deaf. And even though she did explain that she was able to hear the music if she had it like turned all the way up on her phone, like the volume as loud as it could possibly go, she was able to hear it enough to do the sign to it. You know, I think you come off the wrong way, or you make people afraid to ask questions and learn the information when you kind of just like get angry with them for asking you. Because there are certain people also on TikTok who are not deaf who do sign language. Not everybody that does sign language is deaf. There are interpreters, there are people who are related to someone or are friends with someone who is deaf or hard of hearing, who speaks using sign language. And so I think, like I said, I have no problem being asked about my disabilities or my medical conditions, or my deafness. And you know, like I said, I would rather somebody come to me and ask me instead of assuming something and being wrong, or, you know, being misinformed by asking somebody else about the information. Because I think that with any medical condition or disability or whatever the case may be, it's very individualized to every single person. So let me know what you think. Do you think that she should have approached these comments or responded to them in a different way? Do you think that she responded fine? What would you do? Do you feel comfortable asking someone about their disability or medical condition? Or if you have a medical condition or disability, do you feel that you would rather have people ask you than just assume? Let me know your thoughts. I hope you guys are having a great day. If there's any other topics you'd like me to talk about in the future on my channel, please let me know, and I would be glad to get something filmed for you. And with that being said, I will talk to you guys next time.